Blake Froling and Ryan Cole here in Indianapolis for Impact Sports. Michigan State won the Big Ten tournament today, 66-62 over Purdue, and what really became a nail-biter at the end. Denzel Valentine, just a tremendous tournament for him. He earned all tournament honors, first team, and the MVP award as well. He finished with 15 points, 10 rebounds, 9 assists, a.k.a. just another night.
Well, first of all, I have to say, Blake, look out. Now that that's over, Denzel Valentine, he really is the stat sheet stuffer. I mean, he's the man. He's the leader for this Michigan State team, and he said after the game that they have goals that are higher than this. They said Houston is the goal, Houston being the site of the Final Four. This team willed its way to a victory today. It was tough. It was tough as nails. Purdue is a great team. I was very impressed with them in person. Very likely to be a Final Four contender. We'll talk about brackets later on, but they got a good draw. They have the size to really scare some teams. But Denzel was phenomenal. Led the team to a victory today for Michigan State. Just another ho-hum game for him, another near triple-double.
Well, you talked about that size for Purdue. That was one of the main concerns for Michigan State. How are they going to contain Hammonds, Haas, and Swanigan? But Michigan State, they did a pretty good job at that. They not only out-rebounded Purdue, they also scored more points in the paint than Purdue did.
Yeah, and that was surprising to me, but credit Michigan State's bigs. I mean, Matt Costello had kind of a rough day. I mean, really all the bigs for Michigan State started out rough, I would say, missing some easy layups and everything. Matt Costello probably had one of the tougher days of his season. Just seemed kind of physically dominated a little bit. But in the second half, he started to pick it up. He got 4 blocks alone in the second half, became the all-time leader in school history in blocks. He was big time. Deontay Davis, another big game from him. He was. I was worried about him. He was a little flimsy, little weak, and bodying up those big guys from Purdue is tough. But he played very well, and that big alley-oop from Valentine in the second half just was bizarre, just crazy, wild. And then how about Colby Wallenman? I mean, what more can you say about the future doctor? He's a guy who went in and just scrapped, really, when the bigs for Michigan State got in foul trouble. So credit those guys.
Yep, and that was Michigan State's third straight Big Ten championship game appearance, able to get the win, but it was not enough to get a #1 seed in the NCAA tournament. That went to Oregon instead, so Michigan State will be a 2 seed playing in St. Louis. Their first game will be Friday, tipping off approximately 2:45, so I think this kind of fuels Michigan State. I mean, we always talk about the chip on the shoulder mentality, but being quote-unquote snubbed for the 1 seed, it only adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, and as if this team needs more fuel. I mean, they've got all the talent in the world. They've got great leadership, great coaching. They're going to be a very popular national title pick. Don't be surprised to see all the big national pundits taking Michigan State. They got a good draw in their bracket. They got Virginia for the 3rd straight year. I can't imagine Tony Bennett is a huge fan of Tom Izzo at this point. But a good draw for Michigan State, playing some great basketball, playing gritty basketball. They just seem determined to get to Houston, to get to the Final Four.
And very quickly before we go, are they going to get to the Final Four?
I think so. I just talked about the bracket. Virginia is the 1 seed. I'd say that Virginia and Oregon really weren't that deserving of a 1 seed. I mean, I think Virginia got it because the committee was very high on the ACC this year. Personally, I'm not so high on them. Duke hasn't been playing that well this year. North Carolina is the only team that I saw as a national title contender in that conference. And then you look at the 3 seed Utah. That's a tricky game for Michigan State. That's a bracket that Michigan State can easily win, I would say.
And the mantra all year has been natty, breaking huddles, no matter what the circumstance, practice game, whatever. And this win here over Purdue and Indianapolis brings Michigan State one step closer.